Welcome into Boston has entered the chat, and if you love this show, I guarantee you're going to love Hold My Banner on NESN as well. Ante Campbell and I break down the Celtics. We talk all things NBA, culture, you name it. Roll with us on Hold My Banner. It can be found on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and wherever else you get your podcasts. All right, you know what that sound means, don't you? Sound the trumpets. Release the doves. And with that, welcome to Boston has entered the chat. Travis Thomas here with George Valecki. We are like, when you think about it, we are like kind of like royalty.
Yeah.
Right?
I'd agree.
Trumpets, doves.
I thought you were going to say Jordan and Pippen. I was like, we're not that. No, we're not that low. We're royalty.
Yeah,
we are William and Meghan. I don't even know if that's the couple.
No, is it William and Meghan?
I don't know.
I don't even know. I think it is them. You could be right. Hey. Either way, royalty. With you, we always say the show is interactive, so please tweet us using the hashtag NESNChat. You can also email us at chat@nesn.com. And coming up, per usual, we have a great show for you. You know, everyone's focused, George, on the Super Bowl, the big game.
Yep.
But the thing about us, we're focused on next season.
Of course.
I mean, we're so far ahead of the game.
Yeah.
We're going to look in the crystal ball and tell you who we think will be in the big game next season. Plus, one of the NBA's biggest stars is starting to kind of muscle his way out of town. We'll tell you who it is and where he wants to go. And could there be a reunion in the air in the desert between QB and head coach? We'll get to that as well. But let's start here, because I teased it, George, with everyone's talking about the Eagles and the Chiefs, and for good reason. And we'll be talking about it, of course, as well. The uniform matchup is set. Same colors that we saw in the same damn Super Bowl not too long ago. Chiefs in the white, Eagles in their green. But it begs a question. If you took the Chiefs and the Eagles off the table and you had to predict next season's Super Bowl, so you can't have either one of these teams.
Yeah, I see what you're putting up.
Who would you have? Now, that's a good topic right there.
I honestly wouldn't take the Chiefs out of the AFC even if you gave them to me.
Oh, you're going that number.
I mean, you're about to win 3 straight potentially. You're going to get back to a 4th. That's a lot, but I'm not even going to get there.
Yeah, but you didn't think they'd three-peat, and here they are. Can't just take them out of the picture like that, even though we are, for the sake of this exercise.
Look, I would start with the AFC because I do. Kellen Moore can leave, and that would take the Eagles out of the equation depending on who they replace him with. I think the Chiefs can run it back with everyone. That's important. But AFC, it's got to start with I need a quarterback.
Yeah. And
there are 4 guys in the NFL, really all 4 in the AFC. It's Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, and Lamar.
Yeah.
I want to say Josh Allen in Buffalo. But what was tough was this year was supposed to be a reset year. Yeah. The worst thing to me to happen to them, in my opinion, was making it to the AFC Championship game. Because how many more years did that buy Sean McDermott of just showing up to big games in the playoffs with Josh Allen and not being prepared as a team? We're going to see that for a while.
Fair.
I'm just going to take one more back.
Okay.
I'm just going to go Ravens on that one.
Yeah.
Lamar wasn't great in the first half, was nails in the second. Bring it back with Todd Monken again, same system. Upgrade that receiving room, which they need. Upgrade the defense, which they need. And it's still like the core coming back. Derrick Henry doesn't seem like he's slowing down. It's Lamar. No. How that defense turned around in the second half, I think, is so important.
Agreed.
And keep in mind, this is a Ravens team that on the defensive side was led by Zach Orr, who had to make up for losing Anthony Weaver to the Dolphins, his defensive line coach. Zach Orr is still a younger DC in the game. And again, I'd get Todd Monken into year 3. I just like of what's coming back for this Ravens squad and what they did right. So first I'm going to give you Ravens out of the AFC. And in the NFC, you may be surprised by this, but it's Rams. I think the Rams get back to the Super Bowl. It's Sean McVay. It's Matt Stafford. They were never healthy this season. And if the snow doesn't come down in Philly, who knows who wins that game? And I love the Eagles to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But that's how good the Rams were going to this offseason. Sure things up in their secondary.
Yeah.
Quarterback, head coach, one of the wide receivers may leave in Cooper Kupp. We'll see what's ahead for him. And maybe they lose Alaric Jackson, a left tackle, which would be a big miss. But they have a D-line. They got a run game. and they got the two most important positions in football: head coach, play caller, and a quarterback.
Holy shnikes. I did not pass chemistry in school, but in real life, I am acing it. Can you do me a favor so people don't think I'm lying? Don't read all the notes, but top line, look at what I have underlined as my prediction for next season's Super Bowl. You see it? Where I have underlined. Just read it.
My man.
I know.
Ravens, Rams.
Isn't that crazy?
We see what we're talking about,
but we don't know.
Times where I'll be like, T, what are you going to go with?
Isn't that crazy?
This one I want to let ride.
This is insane to me. We have the exact same Super Bowl.
So why do you think Ravens start there?
What can go wrong? We have the exact same prediction. All right, so look, you covered everything across the board for both teams that I would have said as well. I'll just piggyback since we agree on this. For the Ravens, they just need to relax, bro. Just relax. If they weren't so tight in that first half against Buffalo, they win the game.
Yeah.
Obviously, if Mark Andrews makes a catch, they win the game too. Don't get me wrong. But I'm just saying, they're too uptight. What I think can help, not that we haven't seen them lose at home in the postseason in the Lamar Jackson era, but I think it can help if they can get home field throughout. We say the same things about Buffalo or a Baltimore or even a Cincinnati when they mattered and they went to a Super Bowl. I think home field really matters. It's not that Mahomes can't come into your building and rip your heart out, but I think it's much harder to do that than to go in the Arrowhead and try to beat him. And now, obviously, we're taking the Chiefs off of the table here, but I'm just saying, if the Ravens have home field, it can help them do what they really need to do, which is just exhale. Woo-sigh. It's almost like they need yoga or something. Harbaugh should implement that for his team. They're too uptight. Same with the Bills, but the Ravens are more talented than the Bills.
Yeah.
The Ravens are right there knocking on the door, where I actually think the Bills' window's closing a bit. So I think if the Ravens can get home field, somehow, some way, John Harbaugh, figure out a way to relax your team, Lamar included.
Yeah.
I think they can do this. So I'm with you with the Ravens on that end. In terms of the Rams, I brought this up with the Bills. The Rams are in even a worse situation of the championship window closing on them.
Yeah.
They are getting old. They're already old, actually, when it comes to Matt Stafford. So this is the time.
Maximize that window last time it's open.
Now, think about when Stafford went there.
Yeah.
They mortgaged the future to get him there. Moving Jared Goff, bringing in Stafford. They went for broke. We're going for it. Bringing Odell Beckham. Like, we're going for it, right? And they got a Super Bowl. I actually think now, looking out years from that Super Bowl, feels like a lifetime ago, but it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
I think they need to do the same thing. Let's go all in for the end of Matt Stafford. This is the back end of his prime.
Yeah.
He's on the back nine of his career.
Yeah.
Let's go for it. Let's get some pieces in here. I don't think Kupp goes anywhere. I'm curious to see if Kupp and Nakua can stay healthy again for a full season, right?
That's
a knock-on wood
injuries
situation.
wrecked this team.
Yes.
So many spots.
But I also think because you went for broke years ago in bringing in Stafford, you lost a lot of draft capital at that time. You spent a lot of money. All that's reset now.
Okay.
I would think you have enough cap space to go out, bring in some veterans, get even older, lean into it. Okay, they have some parts of their team. We love their young defensive line. They're young in some areas, but I would go out and bring some veterans, inject that into this team, and go for it this year. Not so much a dynasty, not so much a 2-3 year window here, but let's get one more for Stafford, another one for McVay, and then pick up the mess later. Remember, Sean McVay has been flirting with retiring now since they won that Super Bowl. So if you're a Sean McVay, what do you care anyways? Let's get another ring that cements his legacy, certainly cements Matthew Stafford's legacy, and then figure out the rest later. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I like the sense of urgency take from the Rams front office side because that makes a lot of sense. Like that was a team that decimated with injuries, won 10 games in the regular season. That was the second toughest schedule in the NFL when you looked back on everyone's record, what they finished with.
That's right.
And they were fantastic towards the end. Absolutely fantastic. What they did against the Vikings at the end of the regular season and what they did as well, just matching up to even keep up with the Eagles in that way. And again, just like in that secondary, not a lot of great players. It was a defense led by the defensive line.
Yes.
And that to me was about it in that way, like the way I look at it. So I think what the Rams can do, and it just starts at, you could check the box of quarterback that's been there.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's not as athletic as he once was, but he's still got that like game in him. Like he's still a gamer, and he's still one of the elite arms in the league. And Sean McVay, who still needs to improve on his in-game management, but is still one of the best head coaches in the NFL, like point blank period. And there hasn't been a lot that they've lost when it comes to coaching staff, front office, roster. We'll see at this point. So, and if it's not Rams Ravens, AFC is tough. To me, there would have to be such a vast improvement on the defense. I would go Bengals.
Okay.
And this one I think would be, this is where I would go long shots, right?
Okay.
So let me have fun with this.
Commanders.
Bengals, Packers.
Oh, Packers. You still believe in Jordan Love?
Yeah.
That's my issue. I don't think I do.
He's really effing good.
Yeah, but bro.
He's just really inexperienced. He just started his second season. Yeah. Like, that's it.
It's true.
Like, and he, the first half of last year, like going back 2 seasons now, he wasn't good. Second half, he picked it up in his first year as a starter. This was his second full-on, like, off-season as a starter. This will be his third. And he was injured. Like, he injured his knee early on in the year. I don't think he was ever right. Yeah, I don't think he was ever right. He's really effing good.
I just, maybe it's, prisoner of the moment, but it's just like he played so bad in the playoffs. I sold my stock on Jordan Love. I didn't hold it. I sold it, especially when I look at a Jaden Daniels who is in diapers and damn near makes it to the Super Bowl. I just can't wait on Jordan Love enough. But I hear you on that, and I hear you on the Bengals too. My only concern there is, yes, the defense, but they're going to have to pay Jamar Chase. Like, duh. So all your money is going to be tied up in quarterback and wide receiver, which makes sense in the current day NFL. But guess what never gets fixed? Your offensive line and your defense, which is a problem with the Bengals. So I'm going to go Rams, Ravens here. And by the way, we talk storylines for Super Bowls. What's better than that? Rams, legacy play. McVay's trying to get another one. Stafford trying to get one on his way out kind of deal. Ravens finally broke through.
Lamar get his first.
Lamar's time.
Harbaugh get another.
Yes,
John Harbaugh.
That's what I mean. I think storylines-wise and interest, I think that works. It's 2 big brands, too.
And it would be just new faces in the Super Bowl. Like, this is the same Super Bowl matchup from 2 Super Bowls ago.
Yes.
Eagles, Chiefs. Then it was Eagles, 49ers. Excuse me. Yeah, Eagles, Chiefs. Then it was Chiefs, 49ers. Now we're back to Chiefs, Eagles.
Yeah, I'm ready for new blood.
And people would like that because, like, let's face it, like, Nick Sirianni's got one of the most, like, punchable faces. What do we say about chemistry? Hey, I love Vic Fangio.
He does have a punchable face.
He's a tool. It works, I think. Coming from a guy from Jersey, he's a tool. Now, he's perfect for Philly because he's a tool, but he's a tool.
Oh, God.
You get John Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson against Sean McVay and Matt Stafford.
It's a heavyweight
rating through the roof.
It's a heavyweight fight.
No Jackson Mahomes doing TikTok dances.
Oh. And
let's see if it happens.
Hey, they're going to come after me. No Taylor Swift. I know. Sorry, Swifties.
How dare you?
I know. Remember, we are interactive, so give us your Super Bowl predictions for next season as well. And tell us who you think will win this one as well. You could tweet at us using the hashtag NESNChat or email us at chat@nesn.com. The NBA season is here, and the big question is, will the Celtics repeat and claim banner 19? Do-do-do! You can find everything about the NBA and its culture on NESN's basketball podcast, Hold My Banner. It's available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and wherever else podcasts are found. All right, G-Beezy, what's trending? 3 stories, 3 minutes. Let's do it. Number 1, De'Aaron Fox.
Man.
King's star.
Yep.
Is reportedly available in trade talks and reportedly prefers to go to the Spurs. Here's Shams' tweets here. So, wants to go to the Spurs. De'Aaron Fox. Now, he has 1 year left on his deal.
It's a year and a half left.
Well, we're in season now, but he has 1 more year. Allegedly, he's telling the Kings, listen, I'm not re-signing. They offered him an extension. He said, nah.
He wants that super max.
So
5 years, $345 million.
Kings backs against the wall here. This is their star player. They, to their credit, George, they have tried to build around this kid.
Yeah.
I thought this current iteration of the Kings was going to work.
Sabonis, Murray,
DeRozan.
Yep.
It just hasn't worked.
Yeah.
So, okay. I mean, if you're the Kings, do you trade him now? Do you wait till next deadline? Do you wait till the off season? I think you have to have the conversation and try to get something for the kid. He's going to walk out of your life if not.
And I don't think they're going to have a choice because the conversation and all this, too, is Rich Paul going to the Kings and going, look, trade my guy.
Such a Rich Paul
It'd be
move.
in your best interest. And yes, when it's Rich Paul, one of the most powerful sports agents in all of sports, you don't do it. Good luck signing future free agents that Rich Paul represents.
Yeah, you don't want to go to the Kings. They didn't do right by my guy.
And here's the thing. You get De'Aaron Fox with Victor Wembanyama.
Right.
For minimum 1.5 years. And then if he gets that Supermax, they're together for what, the next 6-7 years?
Yeah, because that's where he wants to be.
This season, the Spurs are a game and a half out from the final play-in spot. Wow. You get De'Aaron Fox and Victor Wembanyama. They're making that push in the postseason. And next year, the following year, they could be making a push for a Western Conference Finals.
Yeah.
And the NBA needs this. They just held a regular season game in Paris. They know what they're doing with Victor Wembanyama.
Right.
This isn't just Rich Paul going to Sacramento saying making this happen. This is the NBA going to Sacramento and going, we're going to make this happen. Mm-hmm. We need someone dynamic. We need to score around Wemby. And we need a young point guard with a young superstar. And those two together, though they are going to put together a duo that contends for the West time and time again. He is averaging 25, 6, and 5. De'Aaron Fox, that is.
Sure.
And he's not happy with what's going on in Sacramento. He's not happy, quotations, dealing with the head coach getting fired.
Yeah.
You get him to San Antonio with Wemby, who's a future face of basketball,
fresh
not
start.
just a league.
Yep.
Come on. I would love for this to happen.
It would be great for the Spurs. I think you covered it all there. I guess my only issue from a Kings standpoint would be two things. Top of mind's always Eastern Conference for me. I don't know if I can maximize the most of trading you from the Spurs. So I would look at teams like who could be a De'Aaron Fox away. The Magic come to mind. The Heat. We know Jimmy Butler's going to be moved any moment now. There are teams that could use a De'Aaron Fox and maybe get over the hump with him. Mm-hmm. If that happens, sure, it's a rental, but you have plenty of time to talk him into re-signing, especially if you win.
I want him to the Spurs for the sole reason of Wemby in the postseason.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Has to happen.
But it also tells you De'Aaron Fox wants to be a number 2 and not the man.
That's fine.
That's a problem with the psyche.
What if you...
Just saying.
For him?
Yeah. Wemby's a man. I want to go play with him. Okay, that means you're not the guy we can build around.
Oh, yeah, because they're building around Wemby.
No, I'm saying he's leaving a situation where
they built around
they're trying to build around him.
And he's going, look, man, it ain't working.
It ain't working.
Let me go, that guy?
Yeah.
The alien?
I know.
He's the future of the game.
I know.
Let me be his point guard.
All right, in NFL news, Kliff Kingsbury turns down the Saints. No one wants that job, bro.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
In other news, Mike McCarthy allegedly has said, you know what? I'm good on the Saints too. I'll just take a year off. I'll take a leap year.
Yeah.
What is he, backpacking through Europe?
If you're the Saints, would you rather have one of those guys as your head coach or this guy right here?
Jacksonville.
Oh, boy.
The community. Duval. How do we...
Someone should call the authorities. Somebody, that man needs to be jailed immediately.
The worst part is the longer clip he talks after. Like, I didn't realize how much he set it up.
Talking.
Well, it was like his whole bit. It was his whole bit of like him wanting to do that.
That's the way he set it up.
No, it's not the setup. It's also after.
Community.
He kept going with it. Like, he was like, this is going to hit. And it was dead silent in the room.
Because they were scared for their lives, George.
Play it one more time.
They're scared.
Jacksonville. The community. Duval. How do we do this together?
Oh.
This has to be collaborative.
No.
I want it to be as collaborative as possible.
We don't want that.
That's what makes it even better of like how he goes from that to fully serious. And I saw that, I'm like, this is even worse.
This is terrible.
Now, I'm thankful for Liam Cohen for giving us that moment.
It's a gem.
You like that setup?
It is.
I worked with the producers behind the scenes.
That was very good.
I knew you'd appreciate that.
That was very good. If I'm a Saints fan, I'm kind of ticked off.
Duval.
So creepy. I can't. I hope I never meet that guy ever. Ever.
You know what he is? Like the snake from Aladdin. You just can't. You just know. You just know you can't trust him.
Shout outs to Aladdin.
Oh, great. One of my favorite Disney films of all time.
Fantastic.
Absolutely hilarious.
Shout outs to Jasmine as well.
Robin Williams and the genie too.
I think the Kings. I think the Saints are in trouble here. They're going to get Kellen Moore and no one cares and they're going to stink. But Kingsbury was the guy. If you could have convinced him to go there, work with Spencer Rattler for a year,
Yeah.
Figure out the quarterback in next season with a much stronger quarterback draft class,
Yeah.
and I'm sure a great free agent quarterback class, whatever it will be. So Spencer Rattler's kind of like a bridge year,
Yeah.
and you have Kingsbury's offense. That was really the move. McCarthy's never going to go there. Mike McCarthy's the story here. Genius. Cowboys, you coached your arse off with that terrible team without Dak this season.
Yeah.
They don't want to give you the years you wanted, so you wanted that stability.
Yeah.
They don't want to give you that. Okay, cool. I'm just going to sit out because as we saw with Mike Vrabel around here, sitting out a year, next thing you know, that next hiring cycle that came through, Vrabel was the top guy. Mike McCarthy's absolutely a genius. By the next Black Monday that rolls around when all these coaches get fired, Mike McCarthy's name is at the top of every list.
Yeah. It's like, all right, if the Saints aren't going to get Kingsbury and McCarthy, who do they get? Kellen Moore?
Right.
But if Eagles win the Super Bowl, his stock will never be higher, but he'd be better off waiting for the next job cycle.
Sure.
Think of like the seats that are warming up. Bills, Bengals,
Niners,
Buccaneers, 49ers,
question mark,
Dolphins.
right. Great
Colts,
gigs.
Titans.
Duval.
I'm serious. No, I'm serious.
No, it's the buzzer, man. It's that damn Duval buzzer.
You know what? I did all that to set that up, and I don't think my IFB's working. I
You couldn't even hear it.
Let me see if I got a dud battery.
This is what you get.
Duval.
Thank you.
This is what you get, crew, for
Love that.
setting me up. All right, Bill Belichick suggests that the Lombardi Trophy, how about this, should be renamed after Tom Brady, saying, quote, maybe they should name it the Brady Trophy. He won 7 of them. You know, this is interesting because post-dynasty now, everybody's just giving everybody all the credit. You notice that? It's just kumbaya.
Well, not entirely.
What do you mean?
Giving credit.
Brady and Belichick
Yeah,
are
someone-
BFFs now.
Yeah, and someone's trying to take it. You know, Jonathan Kraft sees this
Well,
quote, and he's
I'm leaving the
it
crafts
should
out.
be called the Kraft Trophy.
I'm leaving the
damn
crafts.
it.
I'm leaving the crafts out.
He just called the director of
You're
that
right.
doc. He's like, we got to make another one.
Fair. Saying everyone is wrong. Brady and Belichick can't stop giving each other credit now.
Yeah.
What the hell is going? Where was that? Why couldn't they make that work when they were together? We should have never had the Buccaneers chapter of Tom's life. Like, what are we doing? Bill, so now you want to give him credit? Really? And you talk to Tom, and he's, to be fair, Tom is always taking the high road when talking about Bill.
Yep.
Tom's been consistent. But now Bill all of a sudden just loves Brady. Oh, name it the Brady Trophy. Really, bro? Where was this energy when we needed it around here? I didn't get a chance to cover Brady Belichick. You know how mad I am about that? What a ripoff.
And in the simplicity of it, I mean, it's like what you hear from Mike Vrabel, right, in the Patriots building. He's like, I will treat players how they treat the team. That's all Brady wanted. He didn't want like Bill to take it light on him. He didn't want veteran rest days. He's like, damn it, man, I want to get paid. And I want to be treated with some G-damn respect.
Right.
Because I got you 6 rings.
Right.
Paid. And just take it easy, old man.
So fair.
That's all he wanted.
They never went to dinner,
Give
bro.
me the energy I put into the team.
20 years. They didn't go to dinner. We go to dinner weekly.
Wait, what? How do you know they never went
It
to
was in one of these.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
One of the books
Yeah.
or the documentaries, all the content. Yeah.
Huh.
Never went to dinner. Think about that.
Yeah.
We're going today. Right after this. We are.
I'm just picturing. I know Bill likes to delete some Bud Lights. I'm surprised like Brady never joined him.
I've never heard delete.
Oh yeah, I
as
love
a-
that term. Shout out my boy Shinny. He put me onto that one.
I've deleted so many beers in my life. I could
You've
just
deleted
be,
Mai Tais?
I can be Control Alt deleted
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
Just reset the whole program.
Look, they. I don't hate this. I mean, it's tough. The Lombardi Trophy is the
I hate
Lombardi
it.
Trophy. You're not going to change the name of it.
Yeah.
There has to be someone for the one person that's won more Super Bowls than anyone else. And I mean, Bill
Yeah.
technically has 8 rings, but like as a player, Brady won 7. Come on now.
Well, Bill's point in this, he went on to say, was listen, the players are the ones that do the work
Yeah.
and deserve. But it's like, okay, I respect that, but where was that energy when we needed it, Bill? You didn't give us that energy when we needed it. You didn't care. This new lease on life, Bill, we needed this guy 10 years ago.
Yeah.
That's really what it
Duval.
is. Oh, God. Okay, I get it. I'm moving on.
No, what?
Anytime you guys need me in line, just play that sound clip.
Duval.
IFB still messed up. This is fantastic.
Oh, okay. I see the setup here. Hey, you can enter the chat too. Please do. Save me from this torture from my crew, please. Whether you have a question about your favorite team, maybe you need life advice, or even if it's just something you need to get off your chest, we're here for you. Kinder.
Duval.
Gentler. Less creepy than that guy. Tweet at us using the hashtag NESNChat or email the chat at NESN.com. We want to hear from you.
Battery recharge.
Oh, he's back on.
Well, no. The battery's about to die.
Oh, is that right?
So.
How convenient. George, I want you to put your GM hat on because
it's on.
I've been trying to do my best. George Belichick. I've been oh, he's getting a new Jay. Come on,
get in.
Come on in.
Jay Saracen to Stoneham.
How about this, family?
Look at this.
Jay comes in. He saves the day with a battery pack.
All right, wait. Let's give it a quick test.
Only here.
Let's see. Make sure it's working.
Only here on Boston has entered the chat.
Hit us with a Duval, please.
It's all family. Thank you.
Duval.
Thank you from Jay. Thank you to Jay.
Feel better now?
Jay from Stoneham.
There you go.
Perfect.
All right. Now, I've been doing my best, George Belichick, meaning I've been kind of following the Senior Bowl. I make you proud. In fact, I saw a tweet from Dillon Gabriel. Well, I don't know if it was from him, but it was about him. Where
I loved this.
Dillon Gabriel's rocking an Oregon, Oklahoma, and UCF on his helmet because he's played for all these teams, and he's at least 40.
Yeah.
This guy's bounced around. Come on. I mean, he's got a 401k, the whole deal.
3 years at UCF. 2 years at OU, and then this last year at Oregon.
Yeah, I'm doing the math. 42 with kids and
24.
grandkids. Unbelievable.
25. I love that, though.
But
that's a sick-looking helmet.
It is. I'd make you proud with this, George.
With the black.
Because I've been following all this stuff. Because I knew we'd talk about it on this show in Foxborough Rush. Check that out.
Yep.
More on that in a minute. But our guy, Donovan Ezeiruaku from Boston College, has been crushing. These practices.
Catching a lot of eyes.
Crushing. Now, we got to talk about the quarterbacks as well. Dillon Gabriel has looked the best out of this group, but the quarterback group is atrocious.
Yeah,
and
Jalen
they have been getting
Milroe.
butchered.
I know.
Gabriel, Milroe, Jackson Dart, Riley Leonard, my guy. None of them have looked good. They said the best has been Dillon Gabriel, but he hasn't looked great either, and he's kind of small. I mean, the quarterbacks are a mess. So let's talk about both. I want to start with our guy, Donovan Ezeiruaku, because you were on top of this. That's why I say GM George. We had him on this show. He was great. We loved him. And then he proceeded to ball out all year for Boston College. Led the nation in sacks. Now his stock is starting to rise. This is something you called that could happen with him.
Yeah.
And we were originally hearing second round. Yeah. Now we're hearing he could be playing his way into the back end of the first round.
He was a day two guy to me no matter what.
Yes.
And I think his bigger upside was he's not necessarily like sets the edge in run defense, but he can beat the initial blocker and just make plays in run defense. And he has a smaller stature. Like he's built like a Von Miller without the freak athleticism.
6'2", 250.
Yeah, but as a pass rusher, he's proven. But it was also him going in one-on-ones with Josh Connerly, going in one-on-ones with Arante Ursary from Minnesota, Connerly from Oregon. Those are guys that are seen to be first-round tackle prospects, and he is just dominating them. And that's where you see the flashes, and that's what like the Senior Bowl can do. It's the exposure these guys get. It's a front offices, the scouts, everyone being around him. It is a sheer competition. You learn a lot about these guys.
Yeah.
And for Ezeiruaku, you know, we spoke to him, and what you hear about him from people I've spoken to, just like he's just an A-plus human being in every way.
We loved him.
Never questioned the competitive nature of him, but to see him in those one-on-one settings, like taking on a left tackle from the Big Ten, taking on a offensive tackle from the Big Ten as well. Now Oregon's in the Big Ten, of course.
Right.
But like the exposure to the competition and just the flashes he's showing, he's going up. Like I think he's a solid second rounder. And if a team falls in love with him and they want to take him in the first because he's right there for them and there is a need on the back end, I would not be shocked.
Okay, it's not going to happen, I don't think. But let's go down the land of make-believe because this is a possibility.
Yeah.
A lot of talk about, hey, maybe the Patriots should trade out of the fourth pick and trade to the back end of the first round.
I don't like back end.
Okay, so that's where you're at because that's where my question was. Obviously, if they trade to the teens, he's not in play. If they do trade to the back end of the first round, do you think he would be in play for the Patriots?
I mean, they would have to crush free agency. Like Alaric Jackson, T. Higgins, Trey Smith, and Josh Sweat all under contract with the Patriots. And that's going to cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
And to take him in that spot, again, they would have to crush it. I would rather see still like a Tyler Warren taken there.
Okay.
This is a very deep defensive line class, and that's where you can see where the Patriots may not reach. But again, like to go into it, I just don't think that happens.
Right.
Look, at 4.
You'd rather have Abdul Carter.
Yeah. And I understand like the Ted McMillan conversation, but they haven't, their top 2 needs are tackle and wide receiver, and after that, it's edge.
Sure.
Abdul Carter's the second best prospect in this draft, and their need at edge is so big, and he's such a can't-miss prospect. They got to take him at 4.
Okay. All right.
At most, I see them trading back to 6 or 7, and then there could be a Shamar Stewart from A&M, who, again, is just dazzling scouts out there in Mobile, Alabama.
Okay. All right, let's talk these QBs. Because, listen, looking at the notes, it's all the same stuff that we heard about Drake May, too, but Drake May is just so much better of a prospect and an athlete than any of these cats. Footwork issues, George. Taking snaps under center. All of them struggle. Jackson Dart, Milroe, Gabriel. I mean, this is a terrible quarterback draft class. And then the 2 at the top, we're not even sure if they're great. We know they're good, but we don't.
I think Cam Ward's great.
Okay, you think so?
Yeah.
There's a lot of debate on both, Shadur and Cam Ward.
Now, you point out that getting under center, do have to point back to Drake May struggled under center when he first got with the Patriots.
He did. That was a knock.
Like every day in training camp, a fumbled snap.
And
like
footwork.
A quarterback center exchange and the footwork.
Fundamentals.
So, Milroe, the thing is still, it's like he's just not accurate, short and intermediate. And you have to, in modern day NFL, you have to be.
Yeah.
Like Patrick Mahomes' air yards per attempt were right there with like Daniel Jones's. And that's because you take what the defense gives you. He is magnificent, Jalen Milroe, throwing the ball downfield, but he is a project. And then you have to work on the natural accuracy.
Yeah.
And Jackson Dart, day 2, I think at most. And play into that and a guy that you develop, but
he's a system guy. Jackson Dart feels
and that's
like
too, like coming from with Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss, like what is it going to be? So it's just
I get Matt Corral vibes from him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's you attach a helmet to the player, which I understand. I think Dart is better. I think he's a more natural thrower of the football, more athletic, but he's still like a project to be there.
Yeah.
Again, it just comes to processing and again understanding at the line of scrimmage what to do. Dillon Gabriel does that well, but a Jackson Dart, you're not asked to do that as much when you're in college. It's quicker, up tempo, go.
It's interesting
NFL
because
to make changes.
I don't think if I'm a team, I don't think I would draft any of these guys we're talking about and stash them as projects. Like I wouldn't look at Jalen Milroe and think, okay, I'll draft him, stash him, have a bridge guy, develop Milroe, and then go to him in a season or 2. Mm-hmm. I don't even think they're that good. Mm-hmm. I don't think. To George's point, if you're not accurate, I can't necessarily teach you that. You can improve a little, but you're not going to be an inaccurate quarterback in college and then come into the league and be accurate all of a sudden. That doesn't happen. Ask the Colts. They're dealing with this with Anthony Richardson. And at least you can hang your hat on Anthony Richardson being an athletic freak of nature. You can't do that with Jared Milroe. He's a good athlete. He's not Anthony Richardson level. Yeah. And they're struggling in Indianapolis with Richardson's inaccuracy. Yeah. So I just want no parts of any of these guys. I think what I would do is punt and draft a D lineman or whatevs and worry about the quarterback next season. I would.
Yeah, maybe there's like the late round bridge QB, like a Will Howard.
Maybe.
It all depends what your system is.
Maybe.
Not even Riley Leonard. He's still too inconsistent throwing it.
But that's what I mean. I don't think I'd take any of them
as a project. If you love Quinn Ewers, you get him healthy. You can't mess with the kid's mental fortitude. I mean, he had the most popular backup quarterback in the history of college football breathing down his neck.
But let's stay there.
And it's like,
is he a project, though? Is he someone you draft and you think?
Not a project.
Right.
He would be a backup.
Yes.
And then you develop him into possibly being a starter.
See, I would rather take a veteran as a bridge guy. I don't know, Kirk Cousins, pennies on the dollars. There's a guy we're going to talk about in a minute, and Russell Wilson. I'd rather take someone like that.
Yeah.
And then draft a quarterback next year in a much stronger class.
Take a guy like that, you're taking a cap hit of like $5 to $7 million compared to a rookie that's going to be under $1 million. They get the guaranteed money up front.
They do.
It's a guaranteed money. And also, I mean, second round pick's different from first, but that's when you go into it. You'd rather have your bridge be a rookie. And teams are always going to take QBs. You never know what you get with somebody until you get them into their building. Yeah. One guy, hey, for your boy Caleb Williams, Gray Zabel has apparently looked fantastic. He's a left tackle from North Dakota State.
Okay.
But during his years at NDSU, he's played left tackle, left guard, and right tackle.
Okay.
And he's projected. He's 6'5", 315, not the longest arm, so he's projected to move inside.
Yeah.
He's been taking reps at both guard spots and center, and he's been impressing everyone.
Right.
For the Bears, they pick at 10, I believe. Wyatt Millum of West Virginia.
Yeah.
Zabel could be a guy that they can maybe trade back into the first and get because, again, the Bears have flexibility, but they need to shore up that offensive line, especially in the middle. Zabel's a guy for them to watch. Like, apparently, he's been great at there, and that's someone that is athletic, great reaction time to mirror pass rushers, good anchor and gravity, so he's been fantastic there.
Want more GM George and the latest on the Patriots and the NFL? We'll tell you what Mike Vrabel and the Pats should do with the 4th pick in the upcoming NFL Draft on NESN's football podcast, Foxborough Rush. It's available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and wherever else podcasts are found. All right, I teased this. A possible reunion in the desert off the top of the show. Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll. Lot of rumors floating around here. Too early to say if Russell Wilson is an option for the Raiders at quarterback, according to Pete Carroll. But Russ is a free agent.
Interesting.
Things did not go great towards the end there with the Steelers. Little Brian Windhorse action. Do you think we could have a
Why would that be?
Could we have a reunion of Russ and Pete Carroll? Now, remember, it didn't end well in Seattle with these two, so I don't really know what we're talking
adults
about.
Adults be adults.
Yeah.
Break bread, kiss and make
Professionals, right?
Yeah.
I know.
I mean, Russ is like, hey, man, see how much I got paid by the Broncos? You don't got to pay me much.
No.
I still got that guaranteed money.
And he's on the dollar. You know him. You're familiar with him. Russ is a good person, right? Like, you don't. It is Vegas. I mean, let's not gloss over the fact that you literally have a choir boy as your quarterback. You don't have to worry about literally. You don't have to worry about him out in them streets in Vegas.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it just makes sense for Vegas in a way of it's not good. I'm not going to act like this makes sense for Vegas in a good way. It makes sense for the Raiders because when they hired Pete Carroll, they said, we don't know what's going on. We need to clean this stuff up.
Yeah.
We still have John Gruden on the books for that 10-year contract that he signed for all those years ago. Pete Carroll's going to be here 1 to 2 years, help establish a culture, maybe 3.
Yep.
Russell do the same.
Yep.
So you get those two in together and you just know what you're getting. But it's not going to improve the outlook of the team. They don't have an offensive line.
Yeah.
They have Brock Bowers. And they have Christian Wilkins and Max Crosby. That's all they have. It's not a good job.
Right.
Like I get why Pete Carroll took it. He wants to coach and he saw the paycheck. Like 1,000% do that if you want. It's just not a desirable place right now. And like Tom Brady can only do so much. Let's not forget, like, this is his first time as an owner. Like, if former Super Bowl winning Hall of Fame quarterbacks made great owners, then the Broncos would be the greatest franchise of all time, and John Elway would be a great front office executive.
Right.
Like, let's just not overlook that of like what they're dealing with in certain spots. So, I don't know. This reunion, it's just, it's water. It does nothing for me. And on the pH scale, it is water.
Okay.
That's it.
I agree. This feels like bridge guys in Vegas.
Exactly.
Right? Both
head
of them.
coach and quarterback.
Yeah, head coach and quarterback. We're going to get together. This reunion's going to happen that no one wants, and we will at least be respectable. We will build a foundation of, the right habits, how to be a pro, culture, everything you said. Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson can do that for you. My issue is, if this is, no disrespect, but if this is like Tennessee or Carolina, I could get behind that.
Yeah.
Or even that creepazoid in Jacksonville. I could get behind that. But this is Vegas, baby. What are we doing? This isn't. Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson aren't selling tickets in Vegas.
Yeah.
Max Crosby's not going to be excited to have Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson to try and help him win. Who gives a rat's patootie about that?
Yeah.
This is Vegas, baby. You got to go hard or go home. So I'm okay with this if I'm a Raiders fan. If the Raiders make it clear this is bridge stuff, they got to come out and own this. Hey, Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson, I know this isn't 2014, but these guys can establish what we're trying to build around here, And then next season, in a much better quarterback class, we will address it. Because none of the quarterbacks, as we just talked about, are any good in terms of stashing, drafting and stashing, having a project.
Yeah.
Jalen Milroe is not going to be any better a year from now than he is now, as far as I'm concerned. I just don't think it's going to work. So you're better off having Russ and Pete for a year, maybe 2, worst case scenario, and then you turn it over to a whole new regime. That I can get behind as a Raiders fan because it almost feels like it's just too late. They couldn't get any of the best head coaching candidates for whatever reason, right? Remember, they fired their GM too, so maybe that was some of it. But they couldn't get that. This is a weak quarterback class. They have nothing going for them.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, we're going to settle. You got to word it differently. But if you're Raiders PR, you pretty much be transparent and be like, hey, this is the best we can do for now to build a culture here, and then we'll address some of these things later.
We need to reset the image.
Yes.
That's what it is.
It's a culture. You can use culture.
Yeah, I mean, for the team in the building, they're using culture. To the public, it's the image of the Raiders. Like, this is a serious franchise. The people are paying a lot of money for tickets in Vegas with all the other options they got. Right? They got the Knights. They got the Aces. They got the Sphere. They got the Strip.
Vegas.
It's Vegas. Everything is there. We need it more than just the people coming in for a weekend away.
That's right.
And making it a vacation or a trip away.
That's right.
A weekend away. We need actual fans here.
Yeah.
And that's what the Pete Carroll hire was, man.
Yeah.
That's what the if this Russell Wilson connection happens, that's what it is. And even like the rumors, like it could be Darren Bevel that could be the offensive coordinator. That's not a good quarterback that's not a good hire either. All respect to Darryl Bevel. Like, was this guy when he was in Wisconsin, but his stops around the NFL have not gone tremendous. Like, that's just it's
the Vegas Seahawks at that point, right?
Yeah.
Like you're literally bringing back the Seahawks in a different place, and it's years later. Like Russ this is the other thing, Russ at the end in Seattle was terrible. He did not look good. Like, they were ready to move off. They were happy to move off of him.
Yeah.
So I just don't think this is going to work. But unfortunately for the Raiders, what the hell option do you have? You don't have any option. Quarterbacks don't grow on trees. It's a weak class in terms of the draft.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? I think it's fine to have Pete Carroll and Russ. I just think you have to be honest and transparent with your fans because they can see through the crap.
Yeah.
Hey, look. This is what it is. We're trying to establish a culture here, trying to sort of reset the brand, as you said. And then next season, we'll tank and get whatever quarterback it is. But honestly, if you're a Raiders fan, you're already used to the nonsense anyway. It's so dysfunctional. They're a mess.
At this point, just make the all-out blitz and hire Deion Sanders. Just hire Prime.
See, I thought that too.
I would rather that and to be serious of, this is still going to take a while. We need to reset everything, but we have the head coach.
Yeah, I agree. But by the way, like we're talking about Pete and Russ as a package deal, if you hire Prime, you can trade up and get your door.
And then when Travis Hunter is nearing his rookie
free agency.
Exactly.
That's actually a great point.
It's a 5-year plan.
Oh my God. We just solved the Raiders.
All of a sudden,
hey Tom, you need us?
You have a quarterback, you have a CB1 and a wide receiver on third down.
Bro.
With Brock Bowers. Just get an offensive line though.
You are preaching.
Shador needs the offensive line.
Do you know how long people have tried to solve the Raiders? We just did it. Gruden couldn't do it. No one could do it. We did it.
Yeah. Gruden could have solved a lot of things, like email. It's just like to get modern with the times, bud. But yeah,
like HR.
Yes, just like
being a good person.
Yeah, exactly. There.
Oh, all right. NBA All-Star Weekend and the NFL Pro Bowl week is upon us.
Yeah. Woo.
Whoop-de-doo. NBA. I mean, we've seen.
Woo.
A bunch of the Rising Stars roster, the dunk contest roster.
Woo.
People are declining left and right. How about Caitlin Clark? Declined the invitation to participate in the 3-point shootout.
Yeah.
I mean, no one even wants to do this stuff, George. The Pro Bowl, people are nothing against our boy Drake May. We love Drake May.
Yeah.
But like,
do we have the quarterbacks? I saw the quarterbacks named to the Pro Bowl.
It's not good.
It's like snooze fest.
I know.
Level to that.
That's what I'm saying.
So
here it is. Look at this. I mean, George, can you read these cast of characters? This is not good.
Russell Wilson, Joe Burrow, great. Drake May, Jared Goff, Baker Mayfield,
Oh.
Sam Darnold. Pro Bowl.
Wah, wah.
Like, this is when it has to be Lamar. Like, shout out Joe Burrow going, but it should be Lamar, Stafford.
Big names.
Yeah.
People you get excited for. It's bad
Jaden
enough
Daniels.
the
It's gonna be
game.
tough him coming off
The
loss,
game
but
stinks. So at least give me people I love.
And the Caitlin Clark, I mean, she also turned down the 3v3 women's basketball league in Miami, so I think she's just taking it easy this offseason.
No, she's working on her game this offseason.
Yeah, but that's what,
You know
I
what I
mean.
mean.
Like, she's just like...
She's focused.
Yeah, she's just resetting and resting, and that's fine. And
Right.
she's giving the nice answer of, I'm going to save it for Indy.
Sure.
Look, like... I mean, the NBA, they got to figure it out to make it competitive so the games don't end in like the 350s anymore and the 400s.
Right.
The NFL, this thing's been a dud for how long? Like, I
Ever.
remember growing up, like, watching the Pro Bowl
too.
and it being good, like the
Yep.
Sean Taylor days.
Yep.
The Skills Challenge was even competitive. It
Yep.
was fun. Like, you would see guys coming out of college competing in that too.
Yep.
At this point, like I said it, and in the world we live with, like streamers, if I am a NFL player and I get invited to the Pro Bowl, I'm saying no. And then I'm picking up the phone and I'm calling Kai Cenat.
Close enough.
Cenat.
Close enough.
Kai.
Kai.
I'm calling Kai.
Yeah.
No disrespect. I just know who the guy is. I'm not
Yeah.
going to say the name. And I'm going, hey, let's do a stream. You do some of your stuff. I'll be doing my stuff. Let's do it. And then just give me 40%. That's it.
And
Rather
that
do
will
that.
outrate the
Yes.
Pro Bowl.
Yes.
More people would watch that stream than
Do the
the
same
Pro
thing
Bowl.
with speed. Do the same thing with the Pauls. I
Right.
can't believe I just went there. Do the
Yeah.
same thing with the Pauls.
Right.
That's it.
And it would do more for your Q rating than actually
Yeah.
showing up to the Pro Bowl that no one cares
You know what
about.
I would love, actually, is that if you took NBA All-Star Weekend and then NFL, you did the same model.
Okay.
You bring back pros versus Joes.
Oh.
But just for those sports.
Oh,
Yes.
I like that idea.
And
I
you
used
make
to
sure
love
to
pros
find,
versus
like,
shows.
you find the biggest trolls on Twitter, find out who they are,
Show their comments.
have them pass a physical, because that's probably needed if you're a massive troll, and then bring them out and go, all right, let's do these drills.
Right.
Go cover that guy one-on-one.
And you have receipts.
Make this throw.
You have receipts. Here it says Tyreek Hill's slower than a snail. Why do they call
Yep.
him Cheetah? Well,
Yep.
now you get the opportunity.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do that.
I would watch, bro. I'd watch that, bro.
That'd be great. Bring back pros versus Joes in an all-star setting.
Pros versus
That'd be fantastic.
Joes.
These athletes would love it too. They would just be dunking on dudes, mossing guys.
Bro, that is a great idea. I can't believe we solved the Raiders and All-Star games. Well, what do you do in the NBA, though? That's a Pro Bowl. You got that figured out.
No, NBA,
NBA, same thing.
Pros
Pros versus
versus
shows, and they get dunked
King
on.
of the court,
All right.
3-on-3, 3 NBA players against 3 Joes.
Okay, here's a hot button issue. I think you should get rid of the dunk contest. Do you agree? Get rid of it. My theory, let me tell you this. Just marinate on this. The whole reason I'm saying this is because we have literally seen every dunk. We've seen them all. And now it takes guys 27 attempts to get one that we've already seen.
Yeah.
I just think we're good. We're good. The Stars used to do it. That was cool. Then they didn't. We saw here it is. I mean, look
It's
at
like
this.
Mac McClung. They got to dig him out every year.
He doesn't even play,
Hey, Mac,
bro.
wake up, buddy.
Yeah. Hey, we know you're in the G League toiling away, but
But Andre Jackson Jr. is going to be sick in the dunk contest.
I'm not saying you're not
He's a
going to be
freak.
entertained, George.
But yes.
I'm saying you don't get big names anymore.
Yeah.
And we've seen all the dunks. Like I think I'm good on it.
What would you replace it with?
Pros versus Joes dunk contest. Old man Ricky with no knees jumping off a trampoline. What could go wrong? Concussion on the rim? Likely. Entertaining.
NBA should take their All-Star week and do a King of the Court tournament.
Okay.
3-on-3 tournament.
I like it.
And
You still need. I like the 3-point contest. Let's keep
that's
that.
fine. And do a 3-point contest. And some of the skills challenge, but figure it out to be better.
Yeah.
And then the NFL should go pros versus shows.
Bro, even the
like
Rising
flag or
the
7-on-7.
Rising Stars game had a bunch of people I never heard of in Wemby. And I'm like,
God bless Wemby.
This is just
God
here it
bless
is. Look at this. I'm not even going to read you this. Let me tell you. For our viewing audience, let me save you some time. Wemby.
stinks.
Yeah, Wemby. The end. If you're listening, there's a lot of names on the screen right now. You don't know any of them except one, Wemby. Like, nobody cares about this stuff. By the way, to your point, I do notice NBA All-Star Weekend. I watch, you know what I watch that
Yeah.
I like?
Yeah.
3-point contest still
Yeah.
since day one. And I like the celebrity game. So, like, to your point, having kind of pros versus Joes or celebrities play or whatever, that creates more interest. I do watch that.
Jalen Wells?
You're going to read the names?
Bob Carrington.
Oh, my God. I do like him, but he's not a big name.
I know who he is just because I pay attention to this stuff.
Yeah. Well, we have to. Your cash, they could care less.
Carson Wallace. I don't know who the hell that is.
And your cash are the people that watch this stuff.
Dink Pate.
Who? Think about this, too. When we were kids.
Reed Shepard, man, he's been terrible.
He's been terrible. I like him.
Awful.
He's got a good game. When we were kids, and you brought this up, when we were kids, the Pro Bowl was everything.
Yeah.
NBA All-Star was everything because we got stars. It mattered. You talked about the urgency. My kids now don't care. I put this stuff on. I'm like, oh, watch this dunk contest. I'll watch a couple. They're like, who's this guy? Who's he play for? I'm like, well, about that.
So they play in Sioux Falls.
Yeah, and they're like, what?
And then he signs a 10-day with the Heat and goes to Miami.
Yeah, and they're like, well, okay, weird. And then they go,
you see that guy? He played at Georgetown. He's not with any team.
Right.
But he can dunk.
Bro, when we were kids, we were all in. Now, kids are like, yeah, I'd rather stream Kai.
Dwight Howard put on a Superman cape.
Yes.
Blake Griffin
jumping over Kias.
Yeah.
They jumped over
nice,
Kias.
modest, middle-class sedan. Blake Griffin. 100 millionaire. I loved it.
It was great, George.
Yes.
Not anymore. Long live the dunk contest. Hey, listen.
Could you dunk right now?
No, hell no. What kind of question is that?
You know it'd be good?
You know I can't dunk right now.
You ever play like mini ball? Like with a smaller basketball, lower the rim to 8 feet?
I could dunk that.
My boys, we'd play like 2v2. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, okay. That's different. I could get after that.
Let's do that.
I could get after that.
Yeah.
But like regulation?
No.
No shot. I could barely dunk when I could dunk. Barely. I was like the dunk contest. 10 attempts on the 9th. Like, barely.
Barely one more time. Say it.
Barely.
I could see. Barely. OPP holding it down.
Here on Boston has entered the chat. Here's what we learned today. We solved the Raiders.
Yep.
We solved all All-Star games.
Yep.
And again, we made fun of the Jaguars' creepy coach.
Duval.
I love that guy.
I think we covered every base.
I love it.
For Travis Thomas, George Belichick, and you. Thanks for rolling with us here on Boston has entered the chat. Till next time, when we enter it again. Peace.
Later.